This episode contains sensitive topics. Discretion is advised.
That didn't help.
Welcome to the Lusty
Hi.
Lounge. Get yourself a
Welcome
drink.
back to an all-new episode of the Lusty Lounge podcast. Yup, that's how we're going to start off this year. And Pew, shut up. Shut up. I am your host, Justin Alt, because I called dibs this time. And joining me this time, we have our two usual guests and a special guest, because we're going to start off the year with a special guest. Normal co-host, please introduce yourself, starting with Puce.
What's up, everybody?
And then Minka.
Hello.
And then special guest, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, hi, my name is Mrs. The Mummy. I'm a variety YouTuber streamer on Twitch.
That's it?
Yeah.
Damn. Oh, Christ. This is going to be a rough episode. Oh, man.
No, I'm talky. I'm really bad at doing introductions, though.
No, that wasn't
I'm really
it.
bad at
My pants got tight. I'll just put you like that. So,
I'm sorry.
because I am a degenerate and I've already done 2 episodes about this on my other show, we're going to talk about VTubers and LootTubers and that type of stuff today, because I've been wanting to talk about this for 6 months. 6 months.
Yeah, are you a big fan of LootTubers specifically?
That's Matt. So
Any women who will talk to him.
he's not wrong. He's not wrong.
Not even directly to him, as long as they're talking in his general vicinity. So,
It'd be like that. It'd be like that
That's his type.
sometimes, especially at work. But recently, I've tried to like dip my toe into indies because corporate is getting stale. We're gonna talk about that later. But to start properly, how did you become a lewd tuber opposed to just a vanilla VTuber?
Oh, okay. So this is I guess my origin story, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's start in the beginning. Okay. So, originally I was a face cam streamer. And I guess what one would call like a titty streamer, which is just, a face cam streamer who has very large breasts, right? And I guess uses their sexuality to attract a predominantly male audience, one would say. And so I did it and I enjoyed it, but I felt very uncomfortable. I actually suffer from hypersexuality, otherwise known as sex addiction. So because I'm just naturally lewd, because of that, I'm like horny 24/7 usually. It was very hard for me not to just be myself on stream, and being myself on stream just meant being kind of flirty and flirtatious with people and just being just my bubbly normal self. And so but they hyper focused on my body, and they do things like that made me a little bit uncomfortable, like oh, why don't you stand up and turn around, let's see those, let's see you jiggle, let's things like that. And that made me really uncomfortable. So I had a friend who was actually a VTuber. She kind of introduced me to it, or at least showed me that she was doing it. She didn't particularly like help me through the process, but she at least explained to me what it was, and that how she did it. Like, just showed me that this was an option, And so I was like, oh, that's interesting. So I started looking into it and seeing all that it entailed. I had 2 empty credit cards, and I was like, you know what, fuck it. And I just I slammed them down. I was like, we're not doing this anymore. I'm kind of tired of being hypersexualized on stream, and it just makes me uncomfortable. I'm starting to feel very self-conscious about my appearance. There were times where, I wouldn't go on stream without putting on makeup, getting ready. I was spending a lot of money on clothes, just trying to always look my best on stream. And so I was like, fuck it. I'm just going to change it up and just become a VTuber. And so I didn't really change my personality. Like, this is me. This is always me. Like, I'm the same as I was as a face cam streamer. It's not any different. So I was just like, okay, I'll just become a VTuber and then just be just like a horny VTuber. I didn't really know that the phrase LootTuber was even a thing until like a little while into it.
Okay, that's real interesting. Well, it's interesting because I feel like most people are like, yeah, I'm tired of looking great, well, not great, putting on a front, not even putting on a front, but like hair, makeup, clothes. I'm tired of doing that all the time. So VTuber, I feel like that's a common-ish thing for people with money. I'll say that because that shit is not cheap at all.
No, it's not cheap at all. And again, I feel like especially I've spoken to a lot of women who do VTubing that just feel more comfortable being themselves behind a visual persona. Maybe not a different, not particularly like a personality shift, but at least visually they look different,
Yeah.
Because at least if, like, sure, my VTuber model, she's sexy. She's supposed to be sexy. She's supposed to be pretty. She's supposed to give off kind of like a dommy mommy feel to her. But like people sexualizing her, I sexualize her. That's what she's meant to be. She's supposed to be sexy. And if you're like sexualizing my model, that's fine. At least I feel like there's a wall there. There's protection.
Yes.
Like you're sexualizing my model. You're not particularly sexualizing me. So I feel a little bit safer with at least that. Because I've met plenty of other female YouTubers that they're gorgeous. They're beautiful. It's not like they're hiding behind a model. They just feel more comfortable doing that. Because a lot of them have like Fansly and OnlyFans and things like that too. So it's not like they're ashamed of showing their body. They just don't want to be sexualized while they're streaming.
Valid. Anything from the peanut gallery? Y'all been awful quiet.
I was just enjoying the little story time.
Yeah, I honestly, this is the first time I've heard about LootTubers, and I can easily imagine what it is, but I just hadn't heard
Oh,
the term
Minka gets to be
before.
the audience today.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Would you like me to explain what a LootTuber is particularly, like specifically?
Sure.
Okay, yeah. So for those who don't know what a LootTuber is, it's a VTuber. A VTuber is a visual representation of someone, usually in an anime style or a 3D style. And they move and they talk, and so it's a visual representation of the streamer. And a LootTuber is someone who does that, but is kind of, I always joke around. I say that we ride the TOS line. Like we're a little bit more risque. We'll flirt. We'll joke around. We'll make dirty jokes. We'll like unstream. We might moan or do things that are a little bit like considered. We're like a little bit more sexualized. And so a lot of the time, LootTubers will have like lots of not safe for work art with other LootTubers or other even just people who watch their streams who don't particularly stream themselves, but they'll get like artwork done of them. And sometimes they will sometimes like go into like voice acting of like not safe for work audios as well. Anything. I'd say it's basically like the adult film industry for VTubing.
I was gonna say it's kind of like taking anime and then saying, "Oh, here's hentai."
That's a perfect way of saying it, or at least ecchi, because we can't particularly, if you're streaming on Twitch or you're streaming on YouTube, you can't particularly go as far as one could go, say on somewhere like Fansly or Pornhub or anywhere like that. But you ride the line, like a lot of us ride the line
Okay.
of breaking TOS rules. Like I think like the other day I was on stream, and this is a +18, right?
Oh yeah,
Yes.
Okay. I'm just like
you can drop all the
So
F bombs and other words, but only altas are allowed to use the N word.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I won't. So the other day I was streaming, and it's like 2 days after my birthday, I believe. And my birthday was on the 7th. And so I streamed for like 12 hours on my birthday. I got a lot of gifts and stuff, right? Whatever. So 2 days after my birthday, somebody was asking me or actually maybe it might have been on my birthday. I don't know. I was very drunk that day. So somebody came in and I was like, very disappointing birthday. Have gotten 0 dick pics in my fucking phone.
Oh no.
I was like outright declaring it to the whole stream. I had like 100 people in that stream because it was my birthday. And I was like, very disappointing birthday. Have gotten 0 dick pics. And somebody in there was like, TOS. And I was like, TOS doesn't give a shit about me. I'm not popular enough.
Damn, that man. When you understand and you can still make jokes, damn, that hurt. I feel bad for you because I understand.
Well, I was like, they don't care about me. You know, Twitch doesn't give a shit about me. I'm not even in their radar. It doesn't matter. You know, I'm fairly popular. I'm like, okay, I'm like, I always joke around that I'm Twitch poor, but Twitter micro celebrity famous on Twitter. Because
yeah, that seems to be how it is now. I'm just like, this is a weird ratio.
It's a weird dynamic. It really is. Like I'm pretty popular on Twitter in the LootTuber community, but I'm like not really popular on Twitch. So like people subscribe to my horny post on Twitter, but then them actually coming to see me on Twitch because I have to stick to like TOS rules and stuff on Twitch. They're a little bit less interested in my content there, you know?
I'm kind of the opposite because I'm like, I'll look at Twitter and go, you're a degenerate, but I see your partner, so you can't be that much of a degenerate. It's like, oh no, you're only moderately degenerate on stream. Off stream, do whatever you want. I'm like, I see. This is the new meta. I understand now. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not even partnered yet on Twitch. I'm an affiliate.
That's store. My bad.
It's okay. It's okay. That's No, it's fine. It's really hard actually to become a partner as a LootTuber. I've noticed specifically because again, the ones who subscribe to your like dirty content are mostly people on Twitter or Fansly or OnlyFans, like those sites. But then to try to get them to come to watch you on Twitch where you have to kind of still like obey the TOS rules, it's difficult. It's not easy.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I do feel like on the small side, though, you can find that TOS line a little bit closer. Like you can squeeze out a little bit more content.
Where?
When you're on the smaller side, that is. Like you can find a little bit more wiggle room than a big streamer.
Oh, absolutely. See, that's the thing. As a small streamer, I can get away with a lot more than I could if I possibly was, partnered. Then more people would be watching me. And it's like, whistleblowers will be like, no, you're not allowed to do that. And I'd be like, oh, fuck.
She too hard. No.
Oh, no.
Man, you can never listen. After hearing girl DMs fucking Southern Japanese RR, you can never RR too hard. Oh my god. Ears are still bleeding.
Mommy, would you like to RR for alt? Make him squirm a little bit.
I'll be honest. I'm not that great at an RR. I do it, and like I have it as a redeem on my channel. I always warn people it's not great. What I usually do, because I'm Latina, is an iBobby.
Oh, please do that. It'll make him squirm so hard.
Nikki,
okay,
I'll be quiet.
So I'll do both, okay? Right? I'll do the ara, and then I'll do the iBobby. So first I do I go like hold on.
Okay.
And so I kind of do like a mommy, kind of like a deep husky mommy ara.
Okay.
And then I'll do an Bobby. So I Bobby.
All right, Alt, how you doing?
I'm okay. I can lie through my teeth pretty well. I've been practicing all day. Pews, you're fucking like 10% Mexican. You should. Where's your Spanish? Where's your Spanish?
If you want me to do an eye poppy, I'm just like that won't make a nosebleed. That'll make your ears bleed. So
listen.
Let's go. I want to hear it. Give me an eye poppy, or actually, give me an eye mommy.
Oh, why did I do this? Hi, mommy.
I love it. Oh my god, I'm so fucking horny for you right now.
Thank you so much.
That did it. That won me over. So yeah, no, normally I do that. I do every once in a while. I'll get a really good ara ara out, but I don't really practice it too much. It's not like one that I'm like well known for. I'll do the iBoppy instead. So people usually come to me for that. Because again, on top of that, like I just want to be true to myself. It's like as a Hispanic YouTuber, I'm more comfortable doing the iBoppy than the ara ara.
So we got to find more sexy Spanish lines.
I don't do too many Spanish lines. I lived in Puerto Rico. Both
Why
my
the
parents
fuck
are
are
Puerto
you
Rican.
here? America,
What?
why the fuck are you here? America sucks.
You've never been to Puerto Rico.
was gonna
man.
say-
Puerto Rico's
I was
horrible.
going to say, Puerto Rico's definitely, not to be mean, but a downgrade from America.
No, absolutely. And the thing is that it's a beautiful island. I'm not saying that. I'm not going to speak ill against that aspect of it. It's gorgeous. I love my people. I love the island. It's beautiful. But certain aspects of it are. But the crime rates, the fact that the country doesn't, America basically owns Puerto Rico. They don't take care of it. They don't take care of it because it's not a state, so they don't have to. So the roads are all fucked up. The traffic is horrible. Work conditions there are horrendous. It's not a great place to live. It's a great place to visit and vacation, but it's impoverished. It's filled with poverty. So I was glad to. I lived there for a while. I was originally born and raised in New York City, Brooklyn, New York. Then I moved to Puerto Rico, stood there for a couple of years. Then I was lucky enough to move back to the States.
Man, your food palette must be fucking amazing. Damn, I'm hungry.
It would be great if I wasn't such a picky bitch.
Fair. New York's got everything, though. I think.
I know it does. But I always kind of joke around with that too. It's like I'll suck a dick and I'll eat ass, but I won't put pickles in my mouth.
Are you
I
the
totally get
one
that.
girl that doesn't like
100%.
pickles?
I hate pickles.
Yo,
I
let's go.
hate them.
Pickles are
I
delicious,
hate
though.
them.
They're only okay
No, I hate
sometimes.
pickles. I hate pickles. I hate mayonnaise. I hate mustard. I don't like any condiments. Condiments are disgusting. Any food that smells, like any food that's a little stinky, is like not for me.
Man, Indian food kind of slapped though. Hold on.
Oh no, I do actually like Indian food. I'm not gonna lie. I do like Indian food. But Indian food, like I'll get like butter chicken, tikka masala, curry, things like that. Oh yeah, that's fucking delicious. I fuck with Indian food. But like I don't know, onions, things like that. Oh, fucking gross. Nothing.
Huh.
And yeah, I joke around. It's like I'll eat a pussy, I'll eat ass, I'll suck a dick, but I will not put a pickle in my mouth.
That's
Fucking gross.
crazy.
But like, eating a pickle normally is not like that's gonna turn you on thing. So like, it makes absolute sense. All that other stuff is all horny. So
Horny. Okay, fine. Then how about I won't eat an onion either.
Valid.
I won't eat an onion. Fucking gross. I just hate.
I can't eat them raw.
God.
Well, no, I do like pickled red onions. They're pretty good on the right stuff.
Yeah, no, I won't eat them raw. I might eat them if they're like chopped up and cooked in something. But yeah, I'm a picky eater. So,
All right.
but yeah, the VTubing thing is interesting. Like, there's like, are there any like specific VTubers or LewTubers that you're like a big fan of, or maybe like I tend to like I don't really pay attention to any of the big VTubers,
Fair.
like the like corporate ones. I just feel like that's like I don't know. I feel like that's just not for me.
is Silvervale technically a LewTuber?
Yeah. Well, she's in a gray area. Her and fucking Project Melody, they're in gray areas.
Okay, because I was like, I know I've seen tons of art and stuff, but I didn't know if she specifically kind of rode that line as well.
I mean, she is corporate. She works for V Shoujo, which we're getting to that later. That shit's fucking funny. But no, she does horny bullshit. I think.
Yeah, I think so. I think she does.
Okay.
I think she does. Again, yeah, she's part of V Shoujo. Again, I don't really pay attention to any of the corporate streamers. Like, like Iron Mouse, things like that. I know who they are. I respect what they do, but at the same time, it's just not really for me.
Is it
I don't particularly.
corporate?
And for me, I feel like it's too corporate. I don't really find it entertaining. If I'm watching, and again, this is my personal preference. I'm not hating on anybody who does. When I'm watching, if I want to watch, I don't know, for me personally, it's like watching TV. You're not really getting much interaction from the streamer because the streamer has so many people in there, you know. Rare be the occasion you actually get their attention, if at all, you know.
Oh fuck!
You're giving
like
them.
you.
Exactly. You're just
He's
like
like
me.
you.
You like a smaller community where everybody knows each other, everybody talks to each other. The VTuber knows everybody. You like it personal.
Right. So this is my thing. And again, this is just how I personally feel about it. I'm not telling anybody to, you know, sign up to my religion or anything, but this is how I feel about it. And this is so you follow a partnered, you know, corporately sponsored VTuber, right?
Unfortunately.
Right. Okay, let's just say you're a huge simp for one of them. Okay, let's say that you drop bank on them left and right. You know, you're giving subs and bits and things like that. One, a lot of them don't even have their alerts on, so they're not even seeing that. That's just automatically going into their bank. They're not even paying attention to what you're giving them. Does it like, how does that benefit you? Like, what are you getting out of it? Like, just the fact that you're just supporting them, but they're not even acknowledging the fact that you're emptying your bank account on them, that you're, you know, buying them this and buying them that, and you don't even get a thank you. You don't even get any acknowledgement. I just feel like, again, it's a business, and good on them for they're basically like, you know, the superstars of VTubing, and that's fine. And if people want to give them money or whatever, that's your choice. But I would much rather know that if I'm going to visit a streamer and I'm going to spend money on them, that it's possibly helping them eat for the week, pay their rent, pay their bills. You know, it's actually going towards something that's actually helping them, that they actually appreciate it because they actually need it, you know, instead of a corporate VTuber or BlueTuber who's doing it and they're, you know, it's just business. For them, it's just business.
Well, and like from the other side, I feel like at least I've always had the mentality of like having worked a ton of corporate jobs. Like, I don't want to work for someone else, especially if they don't care about me, especially if I'm just someone to make money for them. It's like I'd rather work for myself and, you know, be accountable to myself than have somebody, you know, like have something happen on stream where I say something ridiculous and then all of a sudden they're like, oh, okay, we're killing your contract because, you know, you made a bunch of people mad. It's like, I'd rather be by myself and not have some corporate assholes come down on me for stupid shit.
Absolutely. I agree wholeheartedly. Because again, they have to be very careful about the things that they do. And if they do say something or do something inappropriate or not even maybe inappropriate, but against the brand even, not even, because again, it might not even be anything that would be considered like a crime, you know, and they do something against what their brand is, they can easily get dropped.
Yeah, like that would be terrifying to know that at any point you could make a mistake and like your livelihood that you've been depending on is just gone.
Right, absolutely. And again, you know, a lot of it is corporate and they get percentages and they have to, you know, pay for whatever it is that they're getting from their corporate sponsorship. And, you know, because a lot of the times when you sign up with these things, they are the ones who get you the VTuber. Right. You know, they're the ones who get you the art. They'll work with you and you might be able to even put input, but sometimes that's not even true. Sometimes it's like, this is your model and that's it. Now go off and use this model.
Right. Sometimes they'll have their models set up and they're like, okay, now we interview people and like do applications until we find someone who fits this model, and then that's their model and they're stuck with it.
Right, exactly. You know, you had absolutely no creative input in the character that you're playing, and that's basically what it is. It's not even really you being yourself for the most part. It's you playing a character. I'm not saying that's for everybody, because Iron Mouse is Iron Mouse, and Iron Mouse started small, and Iron Mouse just became, you know, what Iron Mouse became. but nowadays that's how it is. It's no different than how like K-pop stars are in Korea. They just it's just a corporation. It's just they're gonna spit them out as quickly as they can just to make money.
Yep. And like, because there's been those things where it's like, oh, somebody made a comment, one of the people made a comment that made it seem like they might not be single, and then they had to go and do like a public apology because like that's part of their whole brand, is that they have to be available, quote unquote, to get more fans and to keep people loving them. And it's just like stupid shit like that, where it's just like you don't get to be yourself, and like every little thing you say is scrutinized by not only your corporation but by the masses.
Absolutely. I know so many female VTubers and LuTubers who have originally started off single, and then throughout, because they're not corporate or anything, so throughout their time being a VTuber, they found possibly another VTuber, or maybe just another viewer even, who they then get into a relationship with, and they end up losing so many of their community. Like their community just up and leaves because they're like, oh no, I thought I had a chance with her and now I don't, because now she's seeing someone. So fuck this, and they just up and leave.
Parasocial relationships. They're great.
Yeah, like I was gonna bring that up when you talked about people giving money. Like, yes, I absolutely believe that like at the very minimum a thank you should be given.
Required, yeah.
But that is on that other side of it, you also, as a person on the internet, like need to be careful of where you're putting your money, because like if you're going to be emptying your bank on someone with the expectation of like, oh, they're going to notice me, they're going to pay attention to me, they're going to message me, this is going to get me a date, like that's not healthy either. Like if you are supporting them, it should be because you want to support them, and not because you then think they are going to owe you something.
Oh, absolutely. That's another big aspect of the VTuber community in general. There's a lot of times where because somebody bought you something, they think that automatically then they can slip into your DMs and suddenly they're owed something. And that's not the case. If you did something for me, I would want for you to do it out of the generosity, just out of, oh, I wanted you to have this, or, oh, I wanted you to have this, and maybe just think of me that, oh, I got this for you. I wouldn't want someone to buy something for me and then just think that automatically then they can get something from me. Unfortunately,
that's not how this works.
That's not how it works. And also, unfortunately, that's not how I work either. I actually have, like, my love language is actually, there's like multiple love languages, but my love language is actually gifts. When I care about somebody, I'll usually give them gifts. And also, that's also how I receive affection as well. So when someone is buying me a lot of gifts, I sometimes look at them and question, what's their motive? Are they flirting with me? Because of the fact that is my love language. And that is a me problem. That is not the case for everybody, But that's what I'm saying. Like, a lot of people think, but that's not the case. You can spend $5 on me. You can spend $5,000 on me. That's not going to change anything. It's always like the thought behind the gift, not how much one spends, But either way, that's for me. I will sometimes look when somebody gets me something, and I do question their motives a lot of the times. Like, are they flirting with me, or do they just really want me to have this? Because I have had those situations where somebody has bought me something and then slipped into my DMs. Like, as a LuTuber, I tend to have a lot of sex toys on my throne. And I had someone who bought me one once and then was almost kind of insistent about knowing how it felt, or kind of like, hey, how does that sex toy feel inside of you? Oh, do you think about me when you put it inside of you? And, very inappropriate questions like that. And I had to block them and ban them, because I was like, no, that's not okay. You're not allowed to speak to me that way. I don't care what you bought me. Like, I give two shits.
Yeah.
You could have bought me a fucking car. You don't talk to me that way.
Yeah, like there are sex workers where like that's their thing. They're like, oh, if you buy me any of this lingerie, like, you know, I'll send you pictures of me in it, or different stuff like if you buy this or that. But like that is a thing that they are consenting to, and consent, as in pretty much everything we talk about on this podcast, is number one key to everything.
And I think that in that case, absolutely, that is a business transaction. Mm-hmm. That's basically what you just did. You purchased a piece of lingerie for someone, and the agreement was upon them receiving that lingerie, they were going to send you pictures of them wearing the lingerie. Or you bought them a sex toy and they were going to send you audio of them using the sex toy, what have you.
That agreement.
But that was a business transaction. Yeah, exactly. There was an agreement.
Yeah, you don't just do that with random people and then expect to get any sort of sexual content back if that is not the agreement.
Right, exactly. I think actually yesterday I had a fairly bad stream, and I had someone come in and start disrespecting me during stream.
Shit.
And so I kind of went on a rant about it. I was like, you know, just because I'm a YouTuber doesn't mean you're allowed to disrespect me. You know, come in here and just disrespect me, you know? And I went into like a rant of female VTubers that sometimes allow the parasocial relationships to form, but by, you know, like the manipulation of, if you know, buy this many subs for me, you know, you could slip into my DMs, or, you know, like the misconception of the more money you spend on me, the more I'll love you. Mm-hmm. And that's just like, yeah, that's kind of a fucked up way for, I feel like, the VTubers, not just male too. Males do it also. They'll manipulate some of their, you know, their community members to spend money on them with the, you know, fantasy of the more money you spend on me, the more I'll like you.
Man, what's that like?
I have no idea. I don't really make much money VTubing. I'm rich in gifts. That's usually what I tell everyone. I'm rich in gifts and poor in money. So I'm not one of those people who does things like that. I've never had a subathon. I've never had a donathon. I've never had a bitathon. I've never had any of these athons that a lot of VTubers tend to have, where they make a lot of money. I've never done any of that. Like, in terms of how much I pocket at the end of the month, it's always less than $1,000, but through Twitch. Like, I've never pocketed more than $1,000 via Twitch, but I have gotten lots of gifts.
Fair.
That throne link gets clicked a lot.
Yeah. So my throne gets like a lot of traction and things like that. I'm rich in sex toys. How about that?
Sounds like a good rich to be.
Yeah. I have lots of sex toys, not a lot of money. But, yeah, no. And again, not that I'm judging, like, please don't think that I'm judging people who, like, my thing is like, if it's a business transaction, hey, give me $500 and I'll spend 5 hours playing video games with you. You know, we'll have a one-on-one date. We'll, you know, it's $100 an hour for me to pay you attention, to give you, if people are doing that, then that's a business transaction. Then I'll respect that. I'm not saying but I've seen people do that. Like, I've seen popular streamers do that, or like Fansly girls, or like OnlyFans girls, where they'll, you know, you're basically paying for their time, and so you're basically like a sex worker. That's sex work, and I'll respect that, because that at least is a business transaction. There's a clear understanding that you're paying for their time, right? But, like, when people try to manipulate the viewer to give them the money, that's then when I have a problem with that.
Yeah. It's manipulation, like you said. And manipulation is not okay.
Right. And it's okay if it's a business transaction. If you're choosing to spend that money on that person, then that's your choice. You know, you're agreeing. I'm fine. I'm going to pay you $500 or whatever to spend time with me. Then you understood that it was a business transaction. At the end of that business transaction, she's not going to be in love with you. Mm-hmm. It was business. She spent time with you because you paid for her time. But when it's like the manipulation of, you know, give me this and I'll fall in love with you kind of thing, then that's kind of where things become a little bit sketchy.
Mm-hmm. Muse.
What?
Ask a question. You've been too fucking quiet.
Hey, you're the host.
Ask me a question.
I was curious, because you're a LewTuber, how does, like, when you go to collab with people, are they, like, more afraid because you might say something that's a little too much TOS? Or do you just, like, do they just, like, say, yeah, you can come on and collab with me, whatever?
That's a really good question. I'm very careful with who I collab with because of that reason. I know a lot of people who are like say-so streamers, which is a say-so streamer is like the opposite of a LewTuber. They don't curse usually. They're very well behaved. They're like 13 plus streamers. I know a lot of these, and so one of my best friends, Comrack, is actually a say-so streamer. He's a plus 13. And he asked me to stream with him the other day, and I was like, originally he told me that we were just gonna hang out and he was gonna come on my stream, and I was like, sure, absolutely, you know. And then he tells me last minute that he was gonna stream it too, and I'm like, wait, no, what? No, I can't. And he was like, well, no, I'm gonna change it to being plus 18 today. And I was like, okay, bet.
Hit you with that reverse Uno.
Yeah, I was like, no. I was like, I can't. And so I have been in situations before where I agreed to be in a tournament that Hayden VT actually did a... Hayden VT, who's a giraffe streamer, he actually set up a whole Mario Kart like competition where he had like a bunch of different teams on it, and I was on team LewTuber.
Okay.
He for some reason put like all the LewTubers in one group, and we kind of laughed about it. We're like, oh, okay, it's because we're all the horny ones, right? You put us all on one team.
So y'all won, right?
And no, we didn't. We were horrible. We were just kind of joking around the whole time. But the thing was, is that there were so many other teams there that were actually say-so. Had a lot of famous, like more popular VTubers that were say-so part of it. And because of that reason, like we did not go into their rooms, like because we had different rooms, different voice calls.
Oh, okay.
We did not go into their voice call during the time when we were supposed to play with them because we couldn't, you know. When we did, when they were like, yeah, come in, but we're say-so, I just didn't talk the entire time, kind of scared that I would possibly offend them just by being on their stream. You know, I was trying to be respectful.
I understand.
And so, yeah, I just didn't, like, you know, imagine somebody being a say-so streamer and then suddenly, you know, Mrs. Mummy's up there on the screen, and even just me talking, they're going to be like, oh, who's that? And then they go look me up, and it's like, oh, disgusting, you know? Considering the fact that, you know, sometimes say-so streamers have very rigid, you know, or very, you know, unmovable community members that are not interested at all in seeing any lewd, you know, activity in front of them. So I just stayed quiet. So I'm very particular about who I collab with.
See, I understand that. I would have been like, listen, I won't say anything too inappropriate, but you gotta let me talk shit. This is Mario Kart. You gotta let me talk shit. A little bit. Just a little bit. That's all I need. But
right. So I didn't know how, I agreed to it. I didn't know, like, I was still very new in the VTuber community when I accepted it. But that's actually, that whole situation is actually what taught me how to move forward regarding my collabs and stuff. I think I was only like a month in of my VTubing when I was invited to that. And I believe I was the only PNG tuber invited. Everybody else actually, at the time I was a PNG. I was the only PNG invited at the time. And so it was like a big honor to be invited in the first place because of how many people were going to be there, how many popular people were going to be there. I believe Alara was there. Honey Cub was there.
I love her. Sorry.
Honeycomb?
She's just so wholesome, and then she's the biggest shit poster in the world. I'm like, I don't know how to feel. I truly don't.
I loved Honeycomb until I respected her to the highest degree until I heard some of her viewpoints regarding LewTubing, and then I was like, oh, that's very disappointing to hear that. Because I feel like we can respect each other for our different viewpoints without putting each other down. Mm-hmm. Like, I would never be like, oh, why are you say-so? That's so fucking boring. You know, I would never do that. I respect and love say-so streamers. But you know, for then a lot of sometimes say so streamers are very anti-LootTuber.
Yeah.
And that's just disappointing. Like, I feel like we should be able to respect each other's different forms of how we choose to generate media.
Yeah.
Goddamn.
If only it were that
Christians.
simple. What? What did you say, Minka?
You might have to cut it if you're worried about offending people, but I said, goddamn Christians.
No, you're right.
I mean, I have a feeling that's probably what a lot of it
you
is.
can't. Well, no, you're not Mormon anymore. I was going to say you can't talk all
Yeah.
that shit. You're
I was
Mormon.
gonna say
It's like, wait,
she went
were
from Mormon. She went
Grew up
from
Mormon.
super uptight to super like
Loose.
She went from being chained down with the religion to being chained down in bed. So
Yeah, that's actually
I like
an
what you said
excellent
better.
way of putting it.
Yeah, what he said was better.
I love that.
Man, now I'm sad.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really disappointing, you know? Like, I feel like in the VTuber space, there's so much space for different, you know, types of YouTubers, and this is the thing. It's different strokes for different folks. The people that watch me are not going to go watch Honeycup usually, you know? And the people that watch me are not going to go watch, I don't know, some other, you know, usually, again, it's no different than like face cam streamers, right? Face cam streamers.
Yeah.
Somebody who watches Ninja might not watch Amarath. They're two different viewerships. You know?
I don't know about that one.
Okay,
to be fair,
but
there's
I'm
some
just
people
saying,
who watch
usually-
Amaranth for very specific reasons.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. Like, normally the viewership is different, you know?
Yeah.
The viewership is normally different. Like, little 13-year-old boys might also want to watch Amarath, but they can't. So it's like, I'm just saying, or even grown men, but I'm just saying, for example, like, normally the viewership is different. So it's not like you're stealing somebody else's view. Like, I feel like there's this misconception of, oh, how am I supposed to compete? They're stealing my viewers if all they're doing is like humping bananas on stream or whatever. You know, it's like they were never gonna watch you anyway. You're not who they're there to watch.
You're lacking a couple assets that they have.
Yeah.
Right, and so that's the point. Like, you can't really compare. That's like comparing apples to oranges. It's two different things. It's two totally different types of media. Yes, I'm a VTuber. Yes, you're a VTuber, but you're a say-so streamer and I'm a LootTuber. So we're gonna have two different types of viewership.
Well,
That's
yeah, and you can be like a say-so streamer and be like, I will never do LootTubing. Like, that's not what I'm into. That's not who I am, and still be respectful of those that do.
Right, exactly. It's no different than people who shit on, you know, like the adult film industry, or like, you know, it's no different. It's like, oh, like adult, like sex work. It's people that like hate on sex workers. It's like, okay, nobody's asking you to do it, but do you have to shit on it? It's not for you. That's fine. Nobody's forcing your hand to do it.
As they watch
You
porn
can
every
respectfully, right? You can respectfully just disagree to like, okay, that's not for me. Great. Nobody's asking you to, you know, just be respectful. Yeah, like I would never hate on like, oh my God, I never watch say-so streamers because they're so fucking boring. Like, no, I don't. I love say-so streamers.
Totally
Top
understand.
5, go.
Top 5 say-so streamers?
Yup. Mm-hmm.
Oh, damn, you put me on the spot. I don't know any by name.
Playing it safe.
Son of a bitch.
I don't even think I can
No,
name
no.
5.
My good how about my good friend Comrade?
There you go.
Number 1 through 5.
That's-
Comrack.
Number 1 through 5. Comrade. He's great. He's adorable. I love him. And he doesn't judge.
I have more questions.
Shocking.
Why
go
the
for it.
fuck did you want to be a yandere, man? Why?
Oh, okay. This is actually really good. So, like me as a person, I'm very emotional. I'm a very emotional person. I suffer from a handful of mental illnesses. I'll name them off. Borderline personality is one of them. Hypersexuality, which is sex addiction, is another. So those are the two things I basically suffer from, right? And my borderline personality kind of gives me really high highs and really low lows. So, and I'm also demi pansexual. So in order for me to, despite me being a incredibly horny bitch, it takes me a really long time to actually want to have sex with someone. So I have to get like I have to form an emotional connection to them in order for me to actually want to have sex with someone. So once that emotional connection is formed, then I become like really like hyper fixated on the person. And so I go in and out of hyperfixations, and that's a common trait for people that have borderline personality. We get very bored very quickly usually, and this is not like, I'm not saying like all of us, but a lot of people that I've studied, a lot of people that have borderline personality sometimes form hyperfixations on people that they're interested in. So my hyperfixation becomes almost sometimes like obsessive.
There it is.
And so I'll like,
Okay.
kind of like stalk their social media and be like, oh, what time did they wake up? Let's see their post. Go like all their posts, repost their stuff. Like, want to spend time with them like all the time. Text them like a million times a day. Not a million times a day, but like consistently throughout the day. How you doing? Miss you. How you doing? I miss you. You know, throughout the day. And so then when I see, you know, them being flirted with by somebody else or them flirting with someone else, I will become very jealous and possessive. And so in comes the yandere.
I've seen this anime.
You've seen this anime.
I know how this ends, man.
So I know this about myself. I'm very self-aware. I'm not like oblivious to it. Like, oh no, you know, I'm very self-aware. So I thought it was very funny for me to be, if anything, like a yandere vtuber, lewdtuber.
That checks
like
out.
the whole like, oh, you know, if you don't love me, I'll stab you. I'll kidnap you and throw you in my base.
So,
you know, kind of thing.
have you learned
Okay.
coping methods to kind of deal with that, or have you just learned to hide bodies really well?
Nobody so far. Nobody count. Cannot confirm or deny. Nobody count.
Well, not that body count.
Nobody count.
Just said that with my whole chest. God damn. I was gonna say, are you the type of yandere that's gonna kill everyone but the person you like, or are you just gonna hurt the person you like?
Usually the person that I like is like safe. Even though they hurt me, I'll just like cry about it. But like it's normally everybody else that like will get on my shit list because I'm the person I care about.
I know how this anime ends.
Yeah, so for example, I had like this huge crush on this fellow VTuber, and like it was like borderline obsessive. I had like this gigantic crush on this fellow VTuber who I'm friends with currently. He was streaming with somebody, and I was like harassing him in his chat like nonstop. I was like just like harassing him, would not stop, leaving him alone. And kept like playing like sound clips and just annoying him, using channel points, like give me a kiss, give me attention, you know, channel points, doing things like that. And he was like, he could tell he was like laughing and kind of getting annoyed by it. And it's like, what the fuck are you doing? And it's like, give me attention the entire time, basically. And afterwards, once he was done streaming and stuff, I messaged him. I was like, are you mad at me? And he was like, no. I was like, are you sure I didn't annoy you? He's like, no. And I was like, okay, good.
That's content. That's a great bit.
Exactly. So I was like, good, bet. It's like, so when are we hanging out? Since you had time to fucking, stream with that bitch.
That's just content. That's how you do it.
But yeah, no, I become very possessive, very jealous of people that I form hyperfixations on. Currently not hyperfixating on anybody, which usually puts me in like a lull, like a sad state of being. I feel like I always have to be hyperfixated on someone, or I feel like I'm just like I go into like sad girl mode. I'm like, oh no, nobody loves me.
I feel like I get that too well.
You get that too well,
I
too?
think I understand that too. I understand that too much.
Nigga, excuse me?
I feel like that's explaining too much about myself.
Yeah,
Like I was like, doesn't everybody like obsess over someone and watch every minute of their content, and then like a month later just drop them entirely? And now I'm like, That
Oh,
seems like it
yeah.
might be really toxic and might explain way too much about me.
Yeah, so my hyperfixations usually stop. Either I get bored, which happens a lot because again, my borderline, I get bored with people very quickly. Or they break my heart, like they hurt me somehow. And then I'll like cry about it for like a good month or so, like on social media, like, oh, he doesn't love me. And then I'll get over it and I'll be done. Like for like a month now, I think I've been like posting sad shit on my fucking Twitter account because I was like heartbroken. I was like, oh, he doesn't love me anymore. Ah. But now I'm over it. I'm fine. But now it's like that sad girl lull of, I'm bored. Who's gonna come keep me company? You know, like, where's my hyperfixation now?
I completely
Peace, you're
understand that.
You're up.
I'm
Peace.
still like confused on why I get that so much. Now I'm like, maybe I should get tested. I hyperfixate on like very specific people for like a month or two and watch everything and take in everything they've put out, and then all of a sudden just stop. And I'm like, all right, now I'm sad.
All right, now I'm mildly concerned because I thought you were doing that for like podcast research. Now I'm scared.
No, I do that like all the time. Is that not normal?
No, that's not normal. Hyperfixating is not a normal trait for people to have.
So I'm
Just
gonna
so you know,
change
it's usually-
the topic. And how did you come up with your lore and your background?
Okay, this is actually really a good question. These are good questions. Thank you guys, actually. You guys have really good, interesting questions. I love this.
Yay. I'm not.
Not a lot of people ask me these things. No, not boring at all. I'm actually really enjoying this. Okay, so my lore, okay. I don't think I've actually really gone into my lore much with many people. I don't have it written down anywhere. It's kind of just in my head. So I'll try to explain it as best I can. But first I'll do the name. The name was really interesting because for a while there, I was trying to come up with something that was like, when I was Facecam streamer, a lot of the gentlemen who would follow me would call me mommy because I have like very large breasts. So they'd, they'd say I had big mommy milkers, so they call me mommy. And so it was kind of ongoing joke. And I always say, I've got strawberry milk tatas. Like my tatas give strawberry milk. And so it was kind of an ongoing thing about like my big titties were like mommy milkers. So they just call me mommy. And so one of the boys that I hyperfixated on at that time, he was from the UK and he would call me mummy because he couldn't say mommy. You know, his UK accent wouldn't allow him to say mommy. So he would like playfully moan out and be like, oh, mummy.
Goddamn
mummy.
Brits.
Yeah, so I was like, I would always laugh. I would always be like, you can't even call me mommy. You call me mummy. And so it was like a joke. And he was just my friend. We never did anything. But he just playfully just called me mommy or mummy, right? Mm-hmm. So he had a girlfriend and he'd be like, oh, I'm going to go spend time with the missus. Like we, hang out on Discord and stuff. And he'd be like, oh, yeah, I'm going to go spend time with the missus. And that's what he'd call his girlfriend. Was the missus. And in British slang or whatever, the missus to them means like the wife or waifu or like my girlfriend, whatever. So I kept thinking about what I was going to name myself, and I really wanted something that kind of openly told people, I'm going for like a dommy mommy feel. I want people to call me mommy. I want the whole mommy aspect thing to be there still. And I also want to be your anime waifu. So I was like, what the fuck? Wife mommy. And I kept thinking, I want something that kind of encapsulates being your waifu and being your mommy. So I was like, wait a second. Mrs. Mummy. And I got it all from him. And I got it all from him. And so I won't drop his name because I don't want him to be like, oh, get in trouble or whatever. Right. But not that we did anything again, but I was hyperfixated on him for a while there. Cause I'm mentally ill and that's just what happens. So I was like, Mrs. Mummy, that's like perfect. And I told him, I was like, I'm going to become a VTuber. I'm going to use the name Mrs. Mummy. Because of you, like the Mrs. part with your girlfriend and then the mummy part, because you can't call me mommy. And he liked it. He's like, I think that really works for you. He's like, I think that's a really good name. I think it's, people are gonna, it's very marketable.
Yes.
And I was like, yeah, I think so too. So I went for it. And when I came out with it, so many people love it. It allows for a lot of different nicknames to come from it.
Oh, wait, no one can see me nod. I keep forgetting words. Words. I feel that.
Okay. Yeah, and then the lore, right? Okay, so the lore is a little bit complicated. Let's see how I explain this. Okay, so my model, she, if you look at my model, she looks like a 1950s housewife, right? Mm-hmm. Kind of. She's giving off like that kind of 1950s housewife vibe. I usually get artwork of me holding like a pie. I'm wearing an apron. I'm wearing a polka dotted dress. I have the thigh highs, but they have the lace on the top. So they look very like 1950s kind of pinup looking. And that's really what I wanted. And her hair is done in victory rolls. So it looks like a very 1950s kind of aesthetic I have going on for me. Because I wanted her to look like, kind of give off that kind of like Leave It to Beaver mom kind of feel, like that cozy, oh, look, I'm unassuming. But at the same time, she has these handlebar shaped horns on her to show that she's not as innocent as she looks. So the story behind Mrs. Mummy is that Mrs. Mummy is actually the queen of the Crossroad Demons. And a Crossroad Demon, if you've watched Supernatural, is someone who you sell your soul to get a wish. She's basically, a Crossroad Demon is basically a demon genie, a genie demon, but you pay with your soul. The story behind her is she was queen of the Crossroads, and my story actually interlinks with my partner's story. I have a partner. I'm Polly. So anyway, my story intertwines with my partner's story. So I'm queen of the Crossroads, living in hell. A young gentleman summons me as queen of the Crossroads to make a deal with me. We make a deal, but the deal goes sour. He ends up, on his possession, he ended up actually having an artifact of a mask of an eldritch deity that he had on his person. And when we made the deal, my magic cracked the mask and allowed the eldritch deity to come out and take over his body. Oh. So instead of him being a servant to me, which is what he was supposed to be, basically because I was supposed to own his soul, I was supposed to own him, it switched it around. Instead, his eldritch deity basically took ownership of me.
I used to play Yu-Gi-Oh! I got you.
So then in turn, I ended up being the submissive to him. So normally I'm very dominant and, dominant Tommy mommy to everyone else, but in the same aspect, I'm very submissive to him. So I have a lot of artwork of me being in submissive positions to him. And him, like I have an art piece where he's actually sitting on my throne and I'm the one sitting on the floor with my arm wrapped around his leg, to show kind of like the power dynamic between the two of us. So because of that reason, because he then took over me as, I was originally supposed to have power over him. Now he's taking power over me. I'm supposed to fit the perfect wife image in his mind. So that's why I look like a 1950s housewife.
That actually makes complete sense.
Thank you.
I have a follow-up question.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's your favorite type of pie?
What's your favorite type of pie? It's a really good question. My favorite type of pie is a pie called a razzleberry, which is a mix between blackberry and raspberry. Yes. It's sweet and tart. The sweetness comes from the raspberry. The tartness comes from the blackberry. It's delicious. It's like my favorite pie. You can't find it a lot of places. I also I usually am holding a red pie, so people assume that the pie is cherry. It's not cherry. The pie that I'm always holding in my VTuber model form is actually strawberry rhubarb, which again is a sweet and a tart pie. So
I've had that once. I'm not gonna say what I had to do to get
It's hard
it.
to
But I had
find.
it.
It's hard to find. They don't make it everywhere. Like it's not a very popular
Yeah,
like dessert.
I think I've only ever had it when it was homemade.
Same.
Yeah, you can't really find them. Like restaurants and stuff don't usually have that pie.
Because they don't know what rhubarb is.
Not gonna lie, I don't have a clue what you
they
guys are
don't.
talking about.
See, right
I
there.
don't know
Right,
what
Okay.
it is at
Puce
all.
is kind of dumb, so we can't really get that.
So rhubarb is like it almost looks like a pink celery. It's kind of a joke. It's
So
called
it's a
they just call it the
vegetable.
pink celery.
It is a
It basically is a vegetable, yes. But the only thing that you can use is the stalks. Like the leafy part of it is poisonous.
Is that purple thing that grows in my yard with big giant leaves? It's got like purple stalk and then like green leaves. And it's huge.
It's pink.
Puce,
Might
what
be.
the
Are
fuck?
you talking
What are you growing
that
out
something
in
that
your
grows in
yard?
people's
It's
yards?
purple.
It's purple.
What?
It's like a pinkish purple, like plant looking thing.
Nigga, go take a picture at some point.
It's winter. It's not there anymore right now.
You don't take pictures of your yard throughout the year?
No.
Here, I'm gonna. No,
make you
it's
feel
it's.
fucking
It, I
weird.
mean, it kind of is a pinkish purple. It kind of is a pinkish purple. I'm gonna copy you a picture so you can see it.
That's not what grows in my yard. Same
Here's-
color stalk, but the
Here's
leaves
a
are huge.
Slightly different.
Yeah, the leaves are huge. The leaves are sometimes huge.
Yeah, that's what grows in my yard.
Yeah. That's rhubarb.
Ah, so it's edible.
Well,
It is, but don't eat the green part. It's poisonous.
I'll try to remember that.
or maybe just don't try to eat it at all.
But now I want to make pie.
But yeah, I always say that my pie is strawberry rhubarb. So it's strawberry rhubarb is sweet but tart because the rhubarb is tart.
Bet.
It's the say-so aspect of me being a YouTuber. The pies.
You can see my
There's a
titties
joke
and
there.
get pie.
There's a joke right there. I'm not gonna do it. It's too easy.
There is it. Go ahead, go
no,
for
it's
it.
too easy. No,
Do
no,
it. Everybody.
low hanging. We don't
No,
do
every-
low hanging fruit here unless I am.
What are you
dead
talking
tired.
about? We always do it.
Okay. But like everybody always kind of says, oh yeah, Mrs. Mummy, let me have a bite of that hot pie. It's like, oh yeah, you want some of this hot pie?
I'm
Yeah.
taking way more than a bite. Mom
You
did
always want
not
my
raise a
hot
bitch.
pie. Mama ain't raised no quitter. You're gonna make sure it's all done.
Goddamn right. Minka, you talk now. You've been quiet.
She's talked more than me, honestly.
That doesn't take very much to do. Not gonna lie.
So, this is probably, I would think, a stereotypical question, but how often do you see, like, women interacting in your channel versus men?
Oh, I'm very big in like the LGBT community.
Okay.
I have a lot of trans following, and again, I consider them male, female, whatever their pronoun is. Like cis females, not so much. I will be honest. Cis females, not so much. I don't have that many cis female followers or people that come into my chat. A lot of the LGBTQ community supports me.
I feel like there's still quite a bit of stigma around female sexuality and being able to be open about it. So, like, I feel like, you know, it's still growing in cis women feeling comfortable actually going out and expressing that versus just keeping it behind closed doors. But as a trans woman, that makes sense because there is the stereotype that we're all horny as fuck, and it's absolutely true.
I was gonna say you not helping your case.
I know, like,
Not true.
like the first time, like when I heard about the stereotype of like, oh, trans women are like super kinky, and I was just like, well, fuck, I'm just 100% adding to that
Fucking
statistic because I
stereotype
am
over there.
Yeah, I am into.
How dare you
everything.
stereotype me? But yes.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I love trans women and I love trans men too. One of my closest friends is a trans male, and he was telling me how when taking like tea, I guess, the clitoris gets enlarged, and instantly I was like turned on by that. I was like, oh yeah. I was like, I have to look that up. That's interesting to me.
Is it big enough
you
to put
know?
inside me yet?
Yeah, exactly. I was like, hello, can I suck it off like a dick? Let's go. I was like super intrigued by that. But no, I'm being pansexual, I like everything. Like, I like everything. Just I'll try to respectfully always remember people's pronouns, and you know, anything that they don't like, they'll tell me, and I try to stick to whatever it is. That being said, yeah, like you said, like with cis females, I feel like there's a lot of judgment sometimes coming from them. I posted up things where I've openly said, I don't have a lot of female friends, because a lot of the ever since I was like, you know, being honest here, I've always been very open sexually, and I've had sex addiction since I was a teenager, or hypersexuality as I like to call it now. And I've had it since I was a teenager. I was like a chronic masturbator as a teenager. And then when I became sexually active, I just, you know, I went crazy with it. And so I've always been kind of the girl that a lot of other girls would kind of make fun of and slut shame. So I have a very hard time trusting cis women. And I know that sounds like a very pick-me girl thing to say, and a very like anti-feminist thing to say, but it's only because of the fact that I've been bullied by them for my entire life, you know? And so it's just harder for me to open up to them and trust them or their motives, you know, in my life. And even with like sometimes even with other female VTubers, I've actually had some of them say that my content is you know, just too much for them to deal with.
Goddamn Christians.
But yeah, no, even like female YouTubers, you know, or just like YouTubers in general, other YouTubers have sometimes just been like yeah, you know, that's not okay. And it's like, oh damn, you know, I thought we were sisters in arms. I thought we were in this together. But there is a level of always, I guess, in the female YouTuber community, there's a feeling of like, as men tend to sometimes make us feel this way, a level of competition between each other. You know, because a lot of the times I'll get compared to other female YouTubers and like, oh yeah, well, this one does this, you know, oh yeah, you remind me of this one or whatever. And I fucking hate that shit.
Yeah,
that it's like, oh, okay, you're putting me in competition with somebody else, and that's not how it should be.
It's like the whole like trying to pit each other against each other is shitty, because yeah, like especially with the culture we have, like women need to stick together and support each other. But like the whole thing just blows my mind, because it is, you know, it's like, to kind of bring things back full circle, like there is this culture that has been prevalent in the world for so long, and it's still a huge issue in America, where it's just like women are sex objects. They are meant to exist for men's pleasure, and like, you know, that's kind of where a lot of these like, I'm going to buy you gifts and you owe me something comes from. But then it's like, but also women are not allowed to be openly sexual. It's like they're supposed to be the most sexual object and the least sexual object at the same time. And it's like,
you gotta be a hypersexual virgin. That's the key.
I absolutely love that you like kind of pinned it, like, right. You got it. Absolutely. I'm supposed to be, you know, every man's fantasy, but at the same time, I'm supposed to be this saint-like thing, you know, where I'm supposed to still be a lady and be feminine and be, you know, nurturing and motherly, and I knew all this going into it, which is why my model actually shows that. Like I actually tried to capitalize on that by making her seem very unassuming. I made her, of course she is sexy, but at the same time, again, I put her in the apron. I gave her a pie. I made her look like a 1950s housewife from Leave It to Beaver. You know, like, I'm supposed to give you those, oh, she's going to take care of me and nurture me vibes. But at the same time, you know, you want to bend me over the table and fuck me while I make that pie. Right. So that I knew exactly that going into it. And I tried very hard to capitalize on that. But you hit the nail on the target. Yeah. Women in this industry, women in general. And I think, you know, Hugh Hefner said it best when his whole enterprise was based on, you know, capitalizing on the girl next door. You know, his thing was, I want you to look at these women and be sexually intrigued by them, but at the same time wonder, hey, you know, she's wholesome enough to be the girl next door.
Right. Yeah. And I think that's kind of where it comes into, is you have some of these women that have this cultural ingrained idea too, and so they see another woman being like even more openly sexual than maybe they are comfortable with, and they're just like,
Right.
no, that's too much. And it's like, it really isn't. Like, those are things you've got to, you should go to therapy and talk to someone about, because that's bullshit in your brain that is not your fault, it's there, but you need to get that figured out.
Yeah, and I think again it has to do with predominantly, predominantly male viewpoint of, we have to be that for men. We have to be sexually attractive for men. Like, pretty is the tax that we have to pay to live in this world. Like how many times does someone who's famous gain weight, or even just have a baby and gain weight or something, and then the whole world is judging them and pointing fingers at them. Somebody's at a beach somewhere, like in Europe, taking a vacation away from all, what they think is prying eyes. They're out there having fun in the water in a bikini, and, there's paparazzi hiding in the fucking, in the grass somewhere, taking pictures of them. And it's like, oh, let's point out all the flaws in this famous actress's body, where she's still thin, she still looks good, but they're gonna pinpoint the tiny little, stretch marks she has. So it's just how the world, it's the skewed way the world works.
Yep. So we just have to work with it the best we can, and take advantage of the bullshit in a way that benefits us, because like, if you don't, then you're just, you're going to be pushed down by society like a lot of people want, and it's bullshit. So you have to push back.
Right. And so my thing is that no matter what, like, I know that I'm going to get hate from like either the Say So streamers that are against lewdtubers, or the feminists who are against lewdtubers, or, just other lewdtubers who are against more horny lewdtubers, or the men who think I'm a dirty fucking whore and are like, oh, you're a dirty fucking whore, disgusting, I'm allowed to treat you like crap, people. And so no matter what, at the end of the day, it really comes down to, am I happy doing what I do? Yes. Am I proud of what I do? Most of the time, yes. Am I ashamed by it? No, absolutely not. Can I sleep at night? Yep, I sleep just fine. So you can't please everyone. Nobody can. So just as long as you're happy with what you're doing, just enjoy it. Just take it for the ride and just enjoy it.
Yeah, and a quick note, because you brought up, like feminists and stuff. Like, to anybody who doesn't actually understand what feminism is, like, if people are saying they're feminist and then coming after women for being sexual or like anything like that, that's not actually feminism. So like,
absolutely, you're absolutely right. You're right. That's true. A true feminist believe in power of sexuality,
right? And equality for everyone, which means everyone
Right.
gets to be themselves and gets to be open about the things they like, and that includes sexuality. So like, if you ever, like, a lot of people go after feminism because they're like, oh, well, it's like, they think women are better than men and should do this and that. And it's like, no, those aren't actually feminists. They're people calling themselves feminists, but that's not what actual feminism is.
That's a skewed viewpoint as well as of feminism as well. The people that say that they're feminists, that believe that they're better than men. It's just, feminism is just supposed to be equality for everyone. Yep. That's what it's supposed to be. But again, the skewed feminism viewpoint that, oh no, you should respect your body, and you shouldn't be a lewdtuber or on Fansly or OnlyFans. That's not true. That's not true feminism.
So like those type of people who go to that extent are often used by like the anti-feminists to be like, oh, look how terrible they are. But like, those kind of feminists are also hurting women. So it's just like, that is not feminism.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I agree. They're actually hurting. You're right. They actually are hurting feminism. Any other questions?
I mean, yeah. That was a lot. that was a lot.
Yes. Sorry. We got into the sociology aspect of it, I guess.
Oh, come on.
I love that part.
It's fine.
By now, you should know that I always get pretty deep into the facts.
Don't say it like that.
No, I like that though. I like
say it
it.
like
It's
that.
true though.
No, I
like,
don't like how she said facts.
facts.
It's like a
into
K, not a CT sound.
The real lewd truths here.
The nitty gritty. Get down to the brass tacks of things.
Brass facts.
There's no Q. Facts is not spelled with a Q. Stop it.
I'm from Utah. We don't say
You are
T's.
I pronounce facts with an X. Facts.
Man, you guys got me saying the word in my head, and now I'm like, I don't know how to say it anymore.
Yep, same.
Facts.
Same. I feel fucking stupid now.
You just got to be confident when you say it, and then
Have you
people will
met
be
me?
like,
Have
That's
you?
not wrong.
When have I ever exuded confidence?
When talking about tech stuff.
That's not me
Yeah, you
being
get that.
confident. It's
That's
just me
about it.
knowing how things work.
That's confident still.
No, it's not. I think. I don't know. I'd pass sociology with a C out of pure spite.
Mommy, give him some like encouraging words. That'll help him.
Oh, okay. You want me to give him? Okay. What am I encouraging him for?
Stop.
Tell him he can
I
make
need-
it through his day.
I need.
He could what?
I need
He
can
both
make
of
it
you to
through his
stop.
day
I need
and
both of you to
be
fucking
happy.
stop right now.
I can do it. I can do it proud of you, which is what I actually
Yes,
one of my
yes,
channel
yes,
points
yes.
on my stream. Okay. All right. Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay. Alt, I'm so incredibly proud of you. You've been such a good boy. You've been doing so well through this podcast. I believe you could do anything. You've done such a good job. You're such a good boy, and I am so incredibly proud of everything you've done today.
I appreciate that. Can you tell my boss to give me a fucking raise?
Hey, boss, can you give Alt a raise? You piece of shit motherfucker.
Goddamn right. I hate that nigga. He lied too
All right,
much.
now you gotta leave that all in the podcast. All we need
we'll
it.
see about that.
No.
We'll see about that.
Oh, no.
I train of thought is completely gone.
No, I'm sorry. I do that a lot. Like, people ask me to do that all the time during stream. It makes them feel good,
Yeah.
you know?
I mean, I do
They come
feel
in,
better,
it
but-
makes them feel good.
I mean, I do feel better. I had a question. That question's fucking gone now.
You broke
Oh,
his poor
no.
little brain.
His
sorry.
First
his
of all,
other brain
it's not
is
little,
active
smarter than
now.
you.
Probably true.
So, what is the process from step one to your debut stream? Yeah, that's a question. That's what I have in my notes. I know where
Okay.
it's at.
Okay.
I would agree.
So, okay, I'll say how I did it, and I probably did it a little bit skewed than most people do. But I'll explain how I did what I did and why I'm semi-popular on Twitter. Okay, so this is what I did. First, I formed a Twitter account with the name that I came up with myself. I personally had absolutely no art at the time. I had no art. I had nothing. I didn't have my VTuber model done. I didn't have my reference sheet done. I didn't have anything. All I had was, I think, a $20 logo I got made for myself on Fiverr and a name. And I was already talking. I had just gotten the sketch for Mrs. Mummy from my art mama like 2 days before. And so that's what I had. I had my name and a dream. And so I made my Twitter account. I started just posting random little things on there. Like, first I was like, okay, I guess this starts now. I think was the first post I ever made on my Twitter account was, I guess this starts now. And so I started just posting up random shit. I shit talk, like, oh, my hoo-ha is so wet, make my hoo-ha meow, things like that, just random shit. Following other VTubers that I knew or was fans of before I became a VTuber myself, following those accounts, posting on their stuff, just being very active on Twitter. While in the background, I had to find an artist to do my reference sheet after I already had a sketch. So usually reference sheets come first. You get together with an artist to create your design, and then you take that design to an artist who's going to build from that design. That's why reference sheets are usually so expensive. A reference sheet's usually on the low end about $250. And they're going to design your character for you. So there's a design. That's what they're doing. They're charging you so much because of a design fee. So you tell them what you want. They're going to, on the reference sheet, they're going to draw you. Usually they do front, back, side, a bunch of facial expressions that you want them to do. And it costs however much they're going to charge you based on that, like how many faces you want, how many expressions, how many outfits, how many accessories, things like that. They're going to charge you. Usually going rate for one of those is like $250. Okay. So I already had a sketch. So I already had a design. My art mama was a sweetheart. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I found an artist and was like, hey, I want this. I sent them a mood board of just what I wanted. Like and like a large paragraph of, I want her to look like this, and this. And a mood board of characters that I wanted her to kind of look like. Mm-hmm. My mood board had, this won't be a shock, Albedo from Overlord, which is where my design for my horns came from. Which is like the handlebar horns type. Albedo from Overlord, and Bayonetta from the hit game Bayonetta. Because I wanted her glasses. And I wanted her to have that dommy mommy feel to her. Yep. You know? Yep. So those were the two characters I gave her. I also gave her, I wanted the red hair. I told her I want her hair to be red, like red. And lots of curls. I said, I want her hair to be big. I want her to have big curly hair. I sent her some 1950s pictures of the victory rolls. One picture of the victory roll I had on there had the heart, because I have a heart shape in my hair. And so when she sent me back the sketch, she actually did the heart. And I had given her a bunch of pictures of victory rolls to choose from. She actually ended up putting the heart in my hair and giving me so much fucking hair. And I was like, I saw the sketch. I was like, oh my gosh, she's fucking gorgeous. There were a couple of things that I need to work out with her. And I explained that what I wanted changed. And she fucking did it amazingly. The 1950s style glasses. And, you know, I needed the glasses on there. I told her the glasses were a must. And, because I wear those glasses in real life. And I was like, that was a part of me that I wanted in my model, as well as the mole that she has in between her titties. Like she has a beauty mark in between her breasts that needed to be there, because to me those are my totems. Those are the two things in my model that I have in real life, so I feel connected to my VTuber model because the glasses and the mole, and to me I that's me.
Fair.
And our hair color is the same at the moment too. So again, my hair is curly, so there's pieces of me in her. She's got big titties, I got big titties. There's pieces of me in her. We don't look the same. So, but I wanted that. I didn't want my VTuber model not to remind me of myself. You know, I wanted her to be a piece of me, so I had a connection to her. So I went with that. So from there, after I got the sketch, I went to find someone to do me a reference sheet. Because usually you can't really debut or at least show yourself to the world without a reference sheet, right? Normally the process is you do that reveal thing of with like 100 likes, I will show you my feet. With 50 likes, I'll show you my ankle, or like my knees. With like 150 likes, I'll show you my booba. And it starts going up. You know, you start from bottom down, start revealing the model to get traction to your account. Before I even got any of that, I started blowing up on Twitter. I don't know how, I don't know what the fuck happened, but I think I hit 100 followers on Twitter, and all I did was screenshot it and say, hey, yo, I got 100 followers on Twitter. And I started getting a bunch of people following me from there. And it kept on going. I didn't even get my reference sheet until like a month later. And I already had, when I revealed my reference sheet, I already had 4,000 followers on Twitter. Wow. By the time my reference sheet came around. Damn. Yeah, all I had was one piece of, in my possession, I had 3 pieces of fan art that I had gotten commissioned of her. But I did not release that until I had my reference sheet. My reference sheet was important for me to actually reveal her correctly. I wanted to follow the process. So until I got that reference sheet, I did not even show any of my pieces of fan art. But what I did do was, once I got my first piece of my first fan piece done, my icon, my PFP was a photo of my eye. So all people were following me from was my eyes. So it's kind of an ongoing joke of when people say how long they followed me. They'll be like, oh yeah, I remember you when you were just an eyeball. And so that's like an ongoing thing. Yeah, so they'll be like, to say how long they followed me or to say how long they've been around, they'll usually be like, hey, oh, I remember you when you were just an eye. So that's like an ongoing, like the OGs remember the eye, you know?
Yeah.
So then once I got my reference sheet, I debuted my reference sheet the same day that I did my first stream. The same day I did my first stream was the day I got my reference sheet. I streamed before I even had my model done or my model rigged because I wanted to become an affiliate before I even debuted. Mm-hmm. So I started streaming. My first stream was kind of funny, and I have clips of it still. I had a fan art that somebody had drawn of me as just an eyeball sticking out of a glory hole.
Oh. So
it was just a glory hole, my eye and the glory hole, like the hole, and then just words around the glory hole that said things like $5 or whatever, like just like kind of like, and I used that as being like in the camera section of my overlay as being me, just the eyeball. I streamed as just I streamed as just an eyeball because I had not gotten, I think it was like the day before my reference sheet came out or something. So then when I finally got my reference sheet the day I released my reference sheet was the day that I actually became officially an affiliate. It was a week after I started streaming. I was streaming for a whole week to get affiliate. The day I became affiliate was the day that I released my reference sheet, and I showed everybody the fan art that I had, which I had maybe 4 pieces at the time of commission artwork. I had 4 pieces at the time, including the infamous picture of me holding the pie with the yandere face that I have that I use for almost everything. My current PFP on Twitter is that one. And then from there, that was in April that I streamed for the first time. And I didn't get my actual VTuber model rigged and completed until August. So I didn't actually stream until, become an official VTuber until August. So that was 4 months later. Yeah, so wow. I kind of did things backwards. I didn't really do it in the linear fashion that most people go through to become a VTuber. But normally, if you're gonna say the way you're supposed to go, and I'll explain it for people who are interested in becoming a VTuber, don't do it the way I did it. First, get a reference sheet, which is get a design, then go to an artist to make your actual PNG art that's gonna become your Live 2D. Then after you get your Live 2D, you go and find a rigger to make the model move. And then, but in between that time, once you have your reference sheet, you could always get a PNG from there and just become a PNG streamer until you get, your Live 2D rigged and stuff.
You hear that?
Which a PNG is just a piece of art that you get a reactive, which is a PNG of your model that shows your model's mouth open and closed. So you use a program like a Reactive Fuji, where when you're on Discord in a call, it will show your mouth, when you're not talking, your mouth closed, and then when you're speaking, it shows your mouth open. So it's just it'll show, it's just a representation of your model on stream, and plenty of people do that. I know someone, a partner streamer named Juzo, who is still a PNG. He hasn't even become a Live 2D just yet. He has it done, but he hasn't actually done his debut yet. And he's been streaming for I believe 2 years now as a PNG, and even became a partner streamer being a PNG VTuber.
PNG tubers are always nice.
Yeah, they're valid. I don't want to hear anybody say that a PNG is not a VTuber. Having a PNG still makes you a VTuber. It's a visual representation of your model. It's the same. No different. I actually miss my PNG days. I feel like those are my best days.
All right.
Thought the nose was the mouth.
Are we at that time? Are you being summoned?
Yeah, I have to duck out, but I hope everybody has a good night.
Wait. Ask your final question, then you can leave.
I have a question? What
question?
I
thought you had a final question.
You've been knocking all my bullet points off so far.
Man, it's like I'm the host. It's crazy.
Mummy, it's been nice meeting you. I hope you have a wonderful night.
It was very nice meeting you. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you.
Bye-bye.
Man, what's that like?
And
Bye-bye.
bye to our audience as well. Bye-bye.
Man, do I insult him now that he can't defend himself?
You insult him when
No,
he can
be
defend
nice.
himself.
You're not wrong. Yeah, you're
That's so
not
sad.
wrong. Listen, he's talked shit all the time, so it's fine. I'll
It's
fine.
fine. Friends are like that. It's fine. I get it.
Man, I wouldn't say that. He said some things, and I'm like, I'll hug you when I see you, but I can't hug you right now because different state. I had a question. Do you feel like the market is undersaturated or oversaturated with VTubers right now?
I feel like it's oversaturated personally at the moment. I feel like there's a lot of YouTubers right now, but again, I mean, it's. I feel like there has to be. It's no different than having like face cam streamers. Yeah. It's no different, you know. There's a lot of them. I feel like in general, there's just a lot of streamers in general right now. I feel like everybody thinks that they can be a streamer. I don't think particularly that's the case. I have a lot of friends who play. Like, there's a difference between playing video games online and being an entertainer.
Yep.
And being a streamer means being an entertainer. Not everybody can play video games, but not everybody's meant to be a streamer.
Yep.
Fair.
And I feel like people don't understand that. And so then they wonder why they only have one viewer or two viewers or whatever. But then you go and visit them and then they're not talking and they're not being entertaining. They're not even telling you what game they're playing. You say hello to them. They're not even acknowledging their chat, you know? So I feel like,
Sounds
can
like
everybody play video games?
Speedrunners.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Everybody can play video games. Are you meant to be a streamer because of it? Fuck no. You know, there's a difference. There has to be a level of entertainment to what you're doing. And if you're not enjoying yourself, then nobody else is going to enjoy you either.
Yeah. Like, I've thought about streaming for us, but I don't. That's a lot of work, and I don't know how to go about doing that. And there's 3 of us, and that makes it infinitely more difficult.
I mean, I've brought it up a couple times, but like I did YouTube 5-6 years ago for about almost 2 years, I think. And so it's like I still have plans on like getting back into that kind of stuff and doing Twitch now and stuff. So it's like, you know, if we ever decide we want to start streaming, you know, we've got setups and we've got stuff we need to do it. But yeah, it is one of those things where starting can be hard because, again, like there are also different levels of entertainers because there are some who like can literally have no viewers and still just be there giving out this content. So like if somebody watches that video later, it's still enjoyable. And there are others who are like, oh, I need people to react back and forth with because I can't just say stuff. And it is difficult to do that. Like if no one's there, it can be difficult to do it. But like, you know, if you are a YouTuber and not a streamer, you don't have that live interaction. So you kind of have to get used to that as well. So it's one of those things where, yeah, it's not as easy as a lot of people think it is. It still takes a lot of work and skill.
Yeah, absolutely. And see, that's the thing too. Like you said, there's a difference between people who, you know, put out like Let's Plays where they're playing by themselves and they're just talking throughout the game without it being live. It's just something they're going to put out later on like YouTube, you know, and they learn that they're talking basically the entire time. You're talking to yourself. You're talking to an audience that isn't there. They can't interact with you. And that's a skill. It takes time and it takes, you know, you have to hone that shit. It's not easy. And that's something that, you know, they work on and they learn how to do that. Being a Twitch streamer is a little bit easier, especially if you already have a, you know, following or whatever. You can always work off of people being in your chat and talking to you and stuff. And so they give you that interaction, that back and forth that you need. And then there's Twitch streamers that don't have that back and forth because they don't have any viewers and they're still not talking because of the fact that they're like, why am I going to talk? Nobody's in here. Well, if somebody comes and you're not talking, they're not going to stay.
Right.
That's kind of the thing. They're not going to stay if you're not talking, especially if you're a VTuber, because the thing with a VTuber is or a PNG tuber, a lot of the times if you don't have like interaction or stuff, you don't even become a VTuber yet. You usually start with a PNG, right? So if you're a PNG tuber, it's not like you're a face cam streamer where they can see your motions. They're seeing your face at least still, and they're seeing that you're struggling or you're smiling or you're laughing or whatever with the game. At least they are visually seeing you. Well, with a VTuber, it's a little bit harder. They're not seeing your facial expressions or anything. So if you're not talking, they're not going to stay.
Yeah.
Just come in and see this static like anime character, and it's just like
not moving,
okay,
not talking,
well,
not doing anything.
that's boring. Let's go somewhere else.
Right, exactly. You have to do something to keep them there. So, yeah, like I said, like everybody can play video games. Not everybody can be a streamer.
It's a lot like sex work. Everybody can have sex, but not everybody can make it a profession.
Yeah, absolutely.
You
absolutely.
struggled through that last bit. I'm
Absolutely.
sorry.
I did. I was like, what do I say?
Like,
I don't want to say not everybody can. Yeah, no.
I knew what you were
I
saying.
agree.
Just like, no, I got you. Just keep going. I'll fix it later.
Yeah, if we ever get a streaming channel going, we'll definitely invite you on at some point.
I mean, we have the channel.
yeah,
we just
I'd love that.
don't use it because there's 3 of us, and we gotta figure out how to do that.
Oh, maybe I'll start streaming on that channel instead of my own.
I'm not gonna stop.
I mean,
you.
it's not difficult. What you do is you find out who's actually going to, show the screen, share the screen, or be the host or whatever. And then you just have everybody else in the Discord call with you.
Right, and just make sure
That's how you do it.
OBS is capturing the Discord audio.
Yeah, it's not difficult. I collab with a lot of people. That's what we do. It's not as difficult as one would think.
And I got a brand new streaming camera for Christmas.
Oh shit! Really?
Yeah, 4K.
We'll talk later when I'm not half dead. Well, I think it's time for a last call because I'm starting to get hungry again. I need to eat or I'll die.
Yeah, it's getting late for me too, and I have work in the morning. So.
Wait, you have like a job?
I do. I have a day job.
Did you not
so
listen when
sorry.
she said that she doesn't make a ton of money from this?
I do not.
You did say that, but listen. I be forgetting other people have like day jobs because there is no sunlight where I work, so I'm just like, time isn't real. Time isn't real.
Oh yeah, no, I do have a day job. I have to do. I work. Shockingly, people always find this very fascinating and very. It's almost kind of like a joke. I'm an accountant. that joke that it's like, oh, what does you do? She's an accountant. It's like that's what people like. People say that sex workers are accountants.
Right.
I really am an accountant.
That's fantastic.
It's kind of hot. Now I'm just imagining you in like the business attire.
I dress kind of like how my model dresses. I wear very like vintagey dresses and stuff. I only allow myself to wear pants like twice a week at most.
Fuck yeah.
I always wear skirts and dresses and stuff just because I prefer it. And people are always like, "Oh, you're so fancy. Oh, whatever." Honestly, it's because I'm lazy.
Yeah,
it's so much easier just for me to throw on a dress.
Yeah, fuck wearing
pants. Yeah, it's so much easier. All I have to do is pull my dress up, pull my panties down. When I have to go to the bathroom, it's 2 seconds. I just grab a dress, I throw it on. It's one piece of clothing. That's it. It's so easy. So like people are always like, "Oh, you're so fancy. Who are you getting dressed up for?" I'm lazy. I am lazy. And I like to dress feminine. I prefer it. I used to be a tomboy growing up. I prefer just wearing dresses and skirts and stuff now. That's just my preference.
Damn. Well, you know what? It's time for last call. Mm-hmm. Now we're gonna any final thoughts and or opinion. Minka, that's mostly for you.
I don't, not that I can think of right now. I think I've pretty much spurted out everything as it came to me, as you do with ADHD.
Man,
I love that.
I was gonna say, yeah, you were you got to play the audience this episode because I feel as though you were like, I know what that is. I don't know what that is. You got to be the boomer this time. It's not me.
Sure.
What do you mean? Sure, you were just like, I know what that is. Not really. Those weren't your exact words, but it's what you meant.
Just I'm a millennial. Don't ever call me a boomer. I don't want to be associated with those racist fucks.
Hey, was being more
I know,
enough.
right? They're horrible. I am also a millennial.
Fuck yeah,
so.
the generation that was supposed to change the world but couldn't because we got screwed over by the boomers.
Yeah. Us and our fucking student loan debt and credit card debts and all the other shit and horrible fucking like market for fucking buying houses and fucking bullshit. The generation below me, they're so good. They're so well off. Like me, I'm like here with all my credit card debt, like sad.
You better cut us off, or else we're gonna head down a political tirade, and it's.
I don't remember how we end the show here because it's been like 2 months.
Well,
so
thank our guest first. Start with that.
Thank you, Miss Mummy, for joining us in the Lusty Lounge.
Oh, thank you for having me.
This is gonna be a chore to edit, and man, someone owes me pants. Puce owes me pants.
But a hell of a way to start a new year.
Yes, I'm just mad. I'm gonna need new pants when I'm editing this episode. I don't want that. I like my pants.
I'm sorry.
Are you really though?
No, I'm not. I like running pants. It's my side gig is ruining pants. Like people will be like, "Oh, so you do it for enjoyment?" It's like, no, being a YouTuber is my side gig. I'm a whore on the internet on the side. I'm an accountant by day, a whore on the internet by night.
Love it.
God, are we in the episode?
Okay?
No,
Your pants.
How do we in the episode? I don't remember.
Oh no!
Well, apparently, we all know how you're ending things right now.
Yeah, you're right.
Hey yo!
But yeah, thank you so much for coming to the Lusty Lounge. Tip
I
your waiters.
loved being here. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it was way fun. I'm glad we got to meet you, and I'm sure that we'll talk to you in the future again. And if we do streaming, we'll definitely hit you up.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Where can the audience find you? Even though probably most of your audience is probably most of your audience at this point. I'm not even gonna lie. I don't know how these things work. I think.
The audience can find me at Mrs. Mummy on Twitter. Also Mrs. Mummy on Twitch, and usually just Mrs. Mummy. Mrs. spelled Missus, Mrs. Mummy, Mummy. So Mrs. Mummy, put it in Google, you'll usually find me. It's easy enough.
Fantastic.
All right, now what? I don't remember.
Yeah, audience, remember to tip your bartenders before you leave. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. And you can always find us on Patreon if you want to support us at the Lusty Lounge, as well as Twitter and apparently Twitch and
Not Twitch.
Facebook.
Twitter.
Not Twitch.
Twitter.
I thought you said we had a streaming channel.
We don't do anything with it. You know that.
Well, we can start building a base. But anyway, you can find us on Twitter and Facebook at the Lusty Lounge. You can always come join our Discord. We've got a lot of wonderful degenerates there, and we are lewd and wholesome, and it's a great little environment.
Yeah. Until next time. Bye.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
No. See, God damn it. Just say bye. Please. Bye. You gotta say bye too.
Bye. Bye. Goodbye.